Hey guys, thanks for joining me for another Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia video. Today we're going to do a character guide on Penelo. Penelo is a huge part of the start of the Force era. She plays a very important role early on in that she is a Force gauge charging character. She's going to be probably one of the best ones in the game until Selphie gets her enhancement boards, or Force enhancements, but right now Penelo's pretty good. So as you can see on the screen here, I did decide to blue her armor. I had already purchased her costume. I think she's got a really cool costume. So my Penelo is pretty maxed out. The only thing she doesn't have is an Ultima weapon. I had to actually sacrifice my dagger Ultima weapon. I decided to sell it back to buy the spear. So, because I'm definitely going to be using Kain a lot more than, say, like Locke, who I originally bought the dagger for right now. So I figured Kain's going to be my carry for a while, so I wanted to give him the Ultima weapon. That is a really cool mechanic. That you can exchange that. Now, the day that this video goes out, I believe, I want to double check. I think it's June 30th right now, right? The way it works with exchanging Ultima weapons, you can do it once per month, but it's not like you use it and then you have to wait 30 days. It's just when the calendar changes to the next month, it resets. So technically, today on June 30th, you could exchange for an Ultima weapon, and then you would still, during July, be able to swap again if you need to. So I highly recommend, if you're on the fence or thinking about it, I would do it now. And then during July, you can always change it back, or you can grab a different weapon depending on what character you're going into, right? Because maybe right now you want to grab a spear for Kain, and then what you could do is when Camelot comes out, you could exchange for his weapon and trade in the spear if maybe you're not going to use Kain as much, right? That's definitely a strategy you can use. I know a little off topic, but back to Penelo. That just kind of came to me right there. So Penelo, let's go ahead quick. We're going to take a look at her artifacts and her spheres, and then we'll go ahead and jump into a little showcase here. So her artifacts, they're not as straightforward as a typical character. She is very support focused. She has a few damaging attacks, but she's doing a lot of battery, right? So for her artifacts, there's two routes you can go. You could go either attack 108 and I Brave 170. So because Penelo is really about battery, I Brave to me is a little bit more important on her because I Brave affects battery. So if you want to do a little bit more, like if you want to focus more attack based, she has a few attacks in her kit that it'll help to have attack 108 on there. Go attack 108, I Brave 170. Or if you want to go more the battery focus, which that's what I'm choosing to do, I'm going I Brave and Max Brave. So I'm going I Brave 170, Max Brave 330 on Penelo. But you could go either or. You could also do attack 108, Max Brave 330 if you want to, but I Brave is a little bit more important for Penelo, right? Then we're going to go ahead and look at her spheres. So she's got two C slots and a D slot. On the C slot, your typical choices would be like Maria, Alphanod, or Lude to boost party attack. So you can see I do have Alphanod. I do actually like Alphanod a little bit more than the others because Alphanod has I Brave on it, which is going to help Penelo as well. So you're getting attack and I Brave. So Alphanod to me is a really good choice. And then I did decide to put her own sphere on. It is a battery sphere, so I'm really focusing in on battery. So I decided to use her own on her. But if you wanted to, you could do like Alphanod and say like a Maria or Alphanod and Lude. Or you could just do, I believe these ones are stackable, so you could do double Alphanod if you want to. That actually might not be the worst idea, is to go double Alphanod if you want. D-slot, typical D-slot choices. I like to do Hope or Ash here in this spot. It's just they're really good generic attack buffing spheres, right? But you can look through your D-slots. Waka I wouldn't do because you typically don't get enough buffs with her. So just make sure that typically any D-slot that Penelo can easily trigger, like typically a buffing sphere, because she does a ton of buffing, is what you want to use. So to me, I would go with Ash or Hope, but there are some other decent choices you could pick. Just look at what you have available and what's maybe refinable in the shop right now, right? All right, so let's hop into the showcase. I'm pretty excited for this one. I really like Penelo, and this has really brought her back into relevance. She has had periods where she's really good, but now I feel like she's just extremely important in here. Actually, I'm going to swap this really quick. Okay. All right. So we're going to try something here that's I was kind of thinking about in my last video. We're going to see how it goes in this video, kind of test it out, and then I might do it on my actual Shinryu run that I record. I have already beaten the Shinryu a couple of times. I actually did one full synergy with no friend. It was kind of challenging, but I got done in like, I think it was like 52 turns out of 55. I mean, I had to go all the way, but we got it done. Let's go ahead and just start typical Garnet start here. We'll Aquamarine. I do really like the Shinryu here for showcases, because since I don't have the orb fighting me, even if I'm not like meeting the force gauge mechanics, I can still have enough time to like show off characters, right? So I'm really liking it for that. Like Garnet can take all these turns at the beginning and the orb isn't just going crazy on me, so I'm pretty happy about that. So let's go ahead and do this. The main reason we have Kane on the team is because we need to have a force gauge to really show how good Penelo is, and to really show what her skills can do. Penelo's actually, I'm going to basically be able to show almost all of her off in one turn, because she has a lot of instant turn stuff, which makes her very, very good, right? So we're going to start to show that off right away here with Kane. So what I'm going to do with Kane is we are just going to get Kane like up in the air like right away. We'll throw his AA on, sure. Take a free shot with Garnet. Why not? Okay, and then let's go ahead and we'll do LD. Perfect. And then we're going to go ahead and hop up in the air. And so Penelo works really well with Kane, which is obviously why they brought her out with him. Now, basically, something Penelo gets that it doesn't like... I don't think it really says it anywhere on here. No, it doesn't. So, like, it doesn't really tell you very well, but you'll notice that her 15 and 35 have a blue highlight. So, with her force enhancements, basically, it allows her to basically force charge faster. So, she's going to help charge the force gauge incredibly fast. That, comboed with her taking a lot of turns, is a very, very good combo. Now, you typically want to open with, like, Haste Rumba. You could actually open with the AA if you want to. It's only got one skill use, but it's like I think it's a 10 or 13 turn AA. The problem with it is if you open with it, you're probably taking a lot of turns and you can burn through the effect fairly quickly. So we'll do the traditional start here. Now, Haste Rumba and Regen Waltz, they're basically two different stances. So Haste Rumba is more her attack stance, and it gives an attack and speed up to the party, right? So you notice my attacks change to Rumba attacks. Those would actually be like her main ways of actually doing brave damage, right? So that's how that would work there. So actually what I'll do is she's going to get another turn coming up. I'll show it. So you can see here, it just does some brave attacks, and then, you know, it does okay, a little bit of damage there, right? So we'll do that there, and then we'll go ahead and show her Regen Waltz next, which gives regen to the party. Pretty straightforward, right? So we'll do that. We'll let the enemies go here. Kane will be popping off after every attack. Okay, so enemies can do their thing. And it's really nice when they want to attack Kane, because then they just whiff. Okay, good, good, good. Alright, so we're going to have Penelo up. So, that's her haste stance. So once again, you give an attack and speed up to the party. Then her regen stance, we can do this. This is her brave gain stance. So now if she does HP pluses with this, it won't actually do brave damage, but it batteries before she attacks. So that's kind of the difference between the stances. So basically, as you're fighting, you can kind of bounce between those stances as you please. It just depends on what you want to do. Now, we've got her EX, which is really good. So her EX is also a free turn. And what it does is it gravities down to 0, which is really good, and then does some fat damage. And then she just gets a free turn. So like almost everything in her kit gives free turns, which is kind of crazy. So we still have the LD to show off. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to power through. Just pay attention to our force gauge, by the way, as we go through. I'm just going to power through some of these free attacks here. And we can just spam these, and that force gauge is just jumping up like crazy. Really, really fast. So we're just going to spam some turns because we got Kane coming up. And then what we'll do is we're going to get into force time. And you're going to see some crazy things in force time here. So we're going to do that. We're going to do that. Actually, I kind of want to get Bahamut up as well. So I'm going to kind of do this until the force gauge is charged. And I want to go into Bahamut summon as well. Sure, we can do the free EX. Why not? So what happens is during force time, her charging moves actually really heavily charge the force damage multiplier. And so you would say, well, why would I be using haste and stuff when it doesn't do actual damage? Well, as long as Kane is up in the air, it's doing pretty darn good damage, right? So basically what I'm going to do here is... okay, so we got Bahamut up, but I want to make sure I'm going to keep spamming here because I want to get the force gauge up. just to show like some shenanigans here. Okay. Alright, so we're going to do that. Let's go ahead and do another one. I really want to make sure we're there. Okay, now we're going to be there for sure. So now I can just do a regular attack. So what I'll do with Penelo here is we'll end with the LD on this little combo here. The LD is really good. And we'll actually save that EX. Yes, we're going to save that EX. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the LD. So this actually does a party cleanse. So that's really good because cleansing is a little bit more of a rare ability. So it does a party cleanse, it does some healing, does a lot of damage, and it applies like all of her buffs, which is going to be attack, speed, regen, all that fun stuff. So the LD, basically with Penelo, all you're really doing is trying to upkeep buffs and spam turns when you need to if you're doing that type of game, and just put her in the stance you want. Which remember, Rumba stance is attack, and then the Waltz stance is battery. So just keep that in mind. Alright, so Garnet's going to do this. Alright, now we're going to do some fun, crazy stuff here. So, Kane's going to drop down. Yep, drop it down. Alright, we're going to do some nuking here with our force time. So, what we're going to do with Kane is I want him to be able to jump instantly when we enter force time. So, I'm going to do the LD to get his 4 stacks up right now. Then I'm going to enter force time. Ideally, you'd want Kane's burst effect up, but I don't want to take the time to put it on right now because I'd have to use a turn and wait for him to come around. So what I'm going to do is we are going to enter force time. And then as soon as we enter force time, he's going to get another free attack here. We are going to just jump up in the air, and we're going to let Penelo go crazy. Okay, so you saw that, remember, when the moves are highlighted in blue, it charges the gauge really quick. Moves can also be highlighted blue during force time. And now we have our HP damage bonus. They are going to impact that damage multiplier a lot as well. So we'll let Garnet do that and, you know, start throwing down damage. All right, so now Kane is just going to jump up in the air, and we're going to let Penelo take over. This is Penelo's showcase, right? So Kane's going to be dealing the actual damage, but Penelo is going to enable him like crazy. All right, so watch what happens here now. So if we go, you'll notice now that the EX is highlighted in blue, the LD is highlighted in blue, and the haste and regen waltz are highlighted in blue. So now what happens is normally you're increasing at like 5 to 10%, but watch what happens when Penelo starts pressing buttons here. Watch the HP damage bonus here. Okay? Okay, so that was 5 on that. Okay, but now let me go ahead and do haste. Let's do haste. So there it went up 5 for hers, and then there 55%. 55% on the haste rumba. So now watch this gauge kind of go crazy here. So regen and haste rumba, even though she's not attacking, look at that. 50, like we're going to get this HP damage bonus. So even though she's not attacking, look at how much it's going to enable Kane to just do damage. We did this in Kane Showcase as well, but she just charges it up like crazy. So if you combo this with, say, like, Laguna's Trap, or, say, Cisne, like, off turn, like, you're going to do some just crazy, insane amounts of damage here. So I'm just going to keep popping these off because it is charging the gauge, like, so fast. We're going to be darn near 400% here. And then Kane's bumping it up a little bit with each of his attacks as well. So, yeah, let's just keep going crazy. And then we can do the EX, it just wasn't charging it as much, but we can pop the EX off as well. Might as well. Well, we've got that gauge up pretty high, 450. So watch the damage from this intercession, by the way. We're up to 450. So that was, what, 3.8 mil we just did right there? Off of one attack, and then Kane's doing 1.2 mil AoEs. Or no, that was Garnet, and there's 1.5 mil. Look at all the damage we did on that one attack right there. So now we didn't charge it as much, but we did like a crazy attack. So I'm at 460 right now, right? So I could regen or haste and like keep adding to that. Or I could say bring out Bahamut right here. Let's bring out Bahamut at the end of this sucker. And now we got free intercessions. So let's do these again and just pop these off for like 3 mil a shot. Or whatever ridiculous damage it's going to do. Yeah, 4 mil. Okay, 4 mil intercession. 2.3 mil, like this is crazy. We're just nuking right now. We're at 470 on the gauge. We only got 1 turn left on the force time. Let's intercession again. And all of a sudden, Penelo is like a nuking machine. Look at that damage. 4.2 mil on the nuke. And then Kane hitting for 2 points. So we just did insane amount of damage there, right? So you don't have to do that exact setup, but that Penelo right now is helping you nuke like crazy. Selfie is going to be a really good charger coming out as well. But there you go, guys. Penelo, a little bit behind the surface. If you just got her, didn't like, you don't really understand her, she charges the force gauge like crazy. Very, very good support character to have starting off. I highly recommend if you're going in for Kane and you're like hitting the Shinryu off strong, get Penelo. Like, she's really, really good right now. I blued her armor because I'm going to be using her a lot. So anyways, guys, hope this guide helps. Thanks for watching, and we will catch you guys all on the next one.